as we hit the 3/4 mark of the first season of the Marble Olympic Games, we reach an event that has long been anticipated, and highly anticipated at that, obstacle course, with its classic ending feature right here. As always, I am Evan, and I'm going to be commentating this event, and let's see the standings right now. Arctic Circles hold a 14-point lead over both the Silhouette Squad and Team Glass, and then Rising Sunshines in 4th, Coffee Colliders in 5th, Volcanic Vindication dropped to 6th, Neptune Ninjas, after winning the last event, on 7th, and the Painty Patrollers dropped to 8th. And now we're going to start things off with the aforementioned Team Glass and Neptune Ninjas taking on the amazing Algaes and Balloon Rainbows, and neither one of them is in an advancement spot right now. And the gap is starting to grow. It's probably going to take a beam take for one of those to get past if we don't get a stoppage here. And for a split second we do with the Balloon Rainbows. They're still in second though. Amazing Algaes have already won. And Neptune Ninjas streak across the beam to steal advancement from what looked like it was going to be Team Glass. They did get past the Balloon Rainbows, but it doesn't matter, because the Neptune Ninjas just took that beam and realized, hey, I've got a chance here if I do that, and took that opportunity about as perfectly as you could, and stayed on the beam and sprinted right by. Now, Rising Sunshine's Volcanic Vindication, Green Diamonds, and Professional Paladins, we're already seeing how that beam can really make a difference, and that pass was certainly something very interesting for the Rising Sunshines. Volcanic Vindication are getting attacked from behind by the Professional Paladins, no pun intended. But yeah, it looks like all that did was just create a huge gap that isn't going to be made up, and in fact just extended by the fact that they missed the beam, same with the Green Diamonds, and the other two teams did not miss the beam at all, really. And yeah, that pass just set the order for the entire rest of the race, and it just was not even close, and the long bottom half streaks, I believe, extend to 6 now for the two teams that fail to advance here. Now, Silhouette Squad, Coffee Colliders, Torrential Downpours, and Fire Pits in heat number 3, and they are off. Fire Pits taking the lead amazingly, and Silhouette Squad gets shoved to last. I certainly did not expect to see this coming. And, all of them get stuck, and then Coffee Colliders set the first two teams free, and Torrential Downpours and Silhouette Squad, yeah, they have nobody behind them to free them now, so they're just going to stay there, and the other teams just take the beam, and Torrential Downpours, it looks like, got a little bit further. Yeah, they did. So they will place ahead of the Silhouette Squad, which makes it even worse for the team sitting in second in the standings. And yeah, a couple pass attempts, one from the Torrential Downpours, then the Silhouette Squad on them, and it just got everybody stuck completely. Now, Arctic Circle's Painty Patrollers, Membrane Madison, Feline Pupils in the final heat, and Feline Pupils were looking to go down second into that first green path. Instead, get shoved to last by the Membrane Madness. Try to get by them, it doesn't work, and I think all that argy-bargy between those two teams is just going to solidify the advancement with how far the Arctic Circles and Painty Patrollers are ahead of them. For them, the Patrollers, in fact, just patrol across the beam to steal the victory in this heat from the championship leaders, but they will still advance without a hitch nonetheless. And yeah, I think it was just that push forward from the Membrane Madness that just sealed their fate instantly. They've been doing pretty well as of late, got 2 medals in the last 5 events, actually, including one most recently in Team Pursuit, but they've struggled quite a lot in the individual events, and there's only one more of those left. The other 3 are all team events, so I guess that might favor them, considering both those medals were in team events. I don't know. I think Pursuit Feline Pupils come across the line to solidify 13th place in this event, actually. Professional Paladins are the only team to beat the Membrane Madness, and Torrential Downpours and Silhouette Squad, of course, get bottom 2. Now, the two fiery rivals meet together here in the middle right there, and they are going to have a hotly contested battle for advancement, I can see. It seems to be already developing, and the two A teams are very far away from each other. Amazing Algaes, surprisingly, are actually the ones much further ahead of the Arctic Circles, and actually just everybody else in general. And despite not taking the beam, they managed to get through that final section pretty quickly, and yeah, there's no change for second place going to the Volcanic Vindication there. Molten holds off Smoke and Polar for advancement to the final. And after an abysmal last event, which they actually weren't a part of, it was Heat the Reserve that did that event, not Molten, they seem to be back after a very good aiming event. Fire Pits and Arctic Circles, of course, opposite ends of the table, and both fail to advance here. Now, Neptune Ninjas, Rising Sunshines, Coffee Colliders, and Painty Patrollers in the second semifinal. Let's see what happens in this one. Neptune Ninjas take an early lead, and Painty Patrollers, a bump from behind by the Rising Sunshines. Will they get by, though? Let's see what happens here. Yes, they do. They sneak by underneath in that first of the 2 red peg mazes, And it looks like they're going to hold on for advancement here. Painty Patrollers swallow back and forth. The Coffee Colliders! Well, they're fans and the Rising Sunshine fans, they are undoubtedly excited to see what the results of this are, because that is insane to think they were that far behind and might have just stolen advancement away from the Sunshines. Did they do it? Yes, they did! Coffee Colliders get by less than a tenth of a second and knock the Rising Sunshines down to 6th. And Painty Patrollers to... No! Okay, thank God. I saved myself from saying those two numbers, but anyways, on to the finals we go, and Coffee Colliders, after an absolutely blockbuster semifinal that almost made me say those two numbers, are back into the lead, trying to win this event after many events are coming up short, and then two of just nothing at all. And the Amazing Allergies and Team Ninjas are free by the Volcanic Vindication, and get by each other, and Volcanic Vindication sneak by the Neptune Ninjas and deny them of an entire podium in this event. But the Coffee Colliders cruised off into the distance while all of that was happening and being talked about, and win the event with their captain after they got robbed entirely of a podium. Kind of like the Neptune Ninjas in this event. In the triathlon, hey, that's the same marble that also ran triathlon for the Neptune Ninjas. Pretty impressive that they made it this far, considering they got 15th in that event, but they ended up choking, could have easily been 3 medals in a row. Now officially see the rest of the results all the way down to the Silhouette Squad with Shade in dead last. And I cannot wait to see how many spots they drop from second in the standings from that. And it's 5, all the way to 7th in fact. Arctic Circle's now lead by just 3 of the Coffee Colliders, who are 10 clear of the Rising Sunshines, and the gap between second and third, that is actually more than the gap between the bottom two, between the Balloon Rainbows and Fire Pits. The Pits might escape the Pits of Hell that is dead last in the next event, which will be Skee Ball, so I will see you then.